Hello, this is AnlineOffline. Welcome to a mid-season review of Season 9 for COD Mobile 2025, along with other news. First up, Vanguard's MG42 got a nerf to 1 stock and 1 mag attachment regarding mobility. This is not a big deal as the MG42 isn't supposed to be used like an SMG. 2019's Fennec got 3 buffs. Its extended barrel now increases range by 20% like it does for other guns. It's now tied with the MSMC for the fastest base ADS time for an SMG. The new flinch is now on par with pistols and the VMB. Still not great, but at least it's not the worst of any automatic. This is still not stated in its description, but the Task Force barrel on Cold War's Quick 6 now improves your chest and bicep multipliers. This barely changes anything because you still need 2 chest shots for a 3-shot potential. All it takes for someone to spoil your potential is to look in your general direction. If you want to talk about actually worthwhile buffs to multipliers, then look no further than Cold War's EM2. The forearms now deal 10% extra damage. 2 shots there can shorten your time to kill at mid and long range. The Task Force barrel brings it down to 1 shot needed to make a difference because it stacks. The CBR4 has gotten its 3rd round of buffs this year. Its range values have been extended by a couple of meters. More importantly, its stumping multiplier now deals 10% extra damage like the arms. Now it's even easier to achieve its potential time to kill at all ranges. This is the most lethal that the CBR4 has ever been. The only thing holding it back is that its high flinch is a poor matchup against high impact weapons like the Odin, USS, and HVK. Speaking of which, Black Ops 3's HVK got a buff to its large caliber ammo. The biceps now deal 40% extra damage, like the forearms and stomach. There should no longer be any discrepancies in time to kill. The Halberd mag on Black Ops 4's Swordfish now increases its fire rate from 1000 rounds per minute to 1111. This is the same as the Fennec. This reminds me that there was a short-lived bug 2 years ago in which this happened. But now, it's official. It also shortens your burst delay by 6 milliseconds, but this is not noticeable. Cold War's KSP now has the same 1 burst range as the Hollowpoint CX-9 in base. This is quite good, but it's still held back by its bullet speed, and Cold War's Gunsmith prevents doubling up on range boosting. Black Ops 3's Pharaoh got 3 buffs, allegedly. Its 3rd range damage was buffed such that leg shots won't have an effect on the number of shots to kill past its 2nd range. This would be nice if it weren't for its random recoil every burst. The full hipfire spread is now average for an SMG, but the initial shots are on par with ARs instead of its peers. The stun gun was expected to have its range extended to 10 meters, but that never happened. The M16 used to be overpowered when Wildfire was introduced. Then it got nerfed to have one of the worst recoils in the game when full auto. With its buff, it's now much more manageable. The Chopper got 3 buffs to make its stats a little more average. The sprint out time is now on par with the MG82, which still isn't great. The full bloom is now average for an LMG. Instead of average strafing speed for an LMG, it's above average now. Rapid fire in Black Ops 3's Razorback doesn't harm its first 2 ranges as much anymore. It also increases your chest and bicep multipliers, which can make its potential time to kill more achievable. The LK-24 got a buff to its base ADS time. It used to be on par with the AMAX for slower than average. It still is, but now it's on par with 10 others, which includes the likes of the Peacekeeper, Odin, and AK-117. The last gun buffed was 2019's Grau. The Archangel barrel now helps with bloom. The biggest and most controversial change this season is that to Wildcards. Perk Read Red was nerfed such that whatever you have equipped as your 2nd red perk would be less useful. In that case, Flak Jacket and Dauntless were cut in half. So you have to use both or have one of them as your first perk when going up against the Thermite Man of War. The reduced aim assist from Pinpoint could be qualified, but not quantified. The only perk to be buffed was Agile, allegedly, but we'll have to ask Nocho. The only positive change was that Martyrdom could take 1 second longer to go off. But that begs the question, why not revert it to how it was before it was buffed? You didn't need to touch this wildcard to do so. Another questionable change was to Bomber. Killing someone with one of your lethals will replenish both of them. The more pressing matter is that it'll increase the range of your explosives by an average of 17%. There will be a video in the near future that will delve into the specifics. Another questionable change was that to Overkill. Swapping weapons will now give you a slight speed boost with a cooldown. How much faster? According to NoteShow, it's 10% for 3 seconds with a cooldown of 6 seconds. The other buff was that it now grants faster swapping speeds by an unspecified percentage. So I figured the best way to test it was with the two slowest guns to switch with, the BKM and RAL MG. From what I can gather with this short test, Overkill now shortens the raise and drop time of weapons by about 40%. For reference, the Amped Green perk gives you 50% faster swap times, not including melee or pistols. Now I know what you might be thinking. No, stacking them together does not net you 90% faster swapping. When combined, it seems that they cap off at 67% faster swapping, or 1/3 of the original time. Again, this is just with the two slowest weapons in the game, so I'll have to check with other combinations. I know Nojo got 30% with the RAL and VMP. The last controversial wildcard change was that to killstreak support. It makes all streaks cheaper to earn, more so with Hardline. The other concern is that this allows Persistence to use the Napalm, Stealth Chopper, and Chopper Gun as their 4th streak. Persistence doesn't need buffs. The Death Machine or Reaper's Scythe will now last 6 seconds less. I'm not gonna complain as COD Mobile has the same issue as Black Ops 4 when it comes to spamming specialists. Seraph's Stack Deploy has gotten its 3rd consecutive buff this year, and will now last 1 minute. Havoc, Firebreak's Reactor Core, and Battery's Kinetic Armor all have reduced energy costs. If you're passively charging, it's like 20 seconds less. For more details, there's Nojo. Outrider Sparrow is slightly more consistent with its blast radius. And last but not least, this season has 5 limited time perk combos. For green, we have Tracker with Recon, and Hardwired with Cold Blooded or Serpentine. For blue, we have High Alert with Engineer or Fireteam support. So, what are my thoughts on these balance changes? If not for the changes to wildcards, it would have been another season of promising changes overshadowed by the USS 9 again. But those changes to wildcards were uncalled for. If we're just talking about the guns, then I think the CBR4, M16, and EM2 are the biggest winners this season. Otherwise, it's just more of the same. Unlocked at level 21 in the Battle Pass. The new gun this season is the Sten SMG, and it's from Vanguard. But hey, it's still an iconic weapon that was mass-produced in World War II. Because of its Vanguard gunsmith, there are a lot of attachments that can alter its fire rate or body multipliers, which makes it annoying to cover. It has the same fire rate as the HT40 in base, and can match that of the EM2, CBR4, Type 25, ISO, or VMP. It has the potential to kill very fast without having to worry about leg multipliers, but it does have to worry about slow bullet speed, high flinch, small mags, and its relatively slow reloads. And like with the Grau, the front sight can change depending on which barrel you use. At COD Next, it was revealed that the last 2 guns for this year are Vanguard's Einhorn Revolving for Season 10, and 2022's SO14 for Season 11. I'm not interested in Vanguard, but I am interested to finally see a gun from the Modern Warfare 2 reboot. For 2026, we have plenty of guns to look forward to. For ARs, we have Cold War's Grav, 2022's Lockman 556 and Cronin Squall, and 2023's Bal 27. For LMGs, we could get Vanguard's DP27. For SMGs, there's 2022's FSS Hurricane, 2023's Static HV, and the LC-10, which could be from Black Ops Cold War or Black Ops 6. The other leaked shotgun was 2022's MX Guardian. I'm not sure why 2022 Signal 50 is listed as a marksman rifle instead of a sniper. In an ongoing poll by COD Mobile to decide future seasonal themes, the HRM-9 from Modern Warfare 3 2023 was spotted in one of the concept arts. It's important to note that these are still leaks and are subject to change, as was the case with the Joker launcher. With the updated Seeker cache, the AK skin has been swapped out for the RPD. Again, they used a mastercraft intended for the Stoner 63 because Cold War didn't have one for their RPD. But free is free, I guess. The Psychic Distortion camo will be replaced next season, no details yet. There is an event to get a free legendary FFAR, along with past lobby themes. It was believed that Gundam would be the last new collab for the year, and that they would be doing a rerun of old collabs. Instead, we have a new collab with the WWE. At COD Next, they did show off The Undertaker and Alexis Bliss doing some motion capture, and their new executions. There's a new game mode, that's kind of like the Guns Blazing mode, but with baseball bats. It's kinda whatever. There's also a rock paper scissors minigame. Neither were showcased at COD Next. Speaking of game modes, Night mode in BR was back. You know I'm not much of a BR player, but I do miss the aesthetic. They also removed Gulags from the game. It was polarizing in its addition. Opinions remain split as it's gone for the time being. Something that no one expected was the news that DMZ is coming to mobile. It's not one-to-one, but it's their own interpretation. For the unacquainted, DMZ was an extraction mode that came with Modern Warfare 2 2022, and is expected to return for next year's Modern Warfare 4. The devs seem to have a lot riding on this one, as it's expected to have 4 maps. Building 21 was already a map in DMZ. Serpent Island is an original that will feature a future campaign mission. The Euro Mountains was a scrapped Cold War map for Warzone, and was tied to Outbreak, but later had points of interest salvaged for our Cry map, and something codenamed Max Map. And just like that, before it's even been released, it already has more long-term support than either Zombies or Breach. Still no word on Nocturne Totem or Urzikstan. There are some concerns. The game's full size is already larger than 40 gigs, and 4 BR-sized maps are gonna take up quite a bit of space. Probably not as much as cosmetics. I'm not really into extraction shooters, less so than battle royales, but I'll give it a try. I hope that it doesn't have operator skills or BR classes in it. Teamy Studios already has Delta Force for that. Tencent already has Arena Breakout, which I heard straight away from its Tarkov roots to cater to Call of Duty players. If you ask me, COD Mobile's appearance at COD Next was pretty lame. Is it better than being treated as a stepping stone for Warzone Mobile last year? Sure. Is it better than what Warzone Mobile got last year? I can't say that it was. For them, they wanted to show off the Black Ops 6 integration before it killed all momentum towards optimization. For us this year, it was all talk, and half of the things that they did have to say were spent talking about mythic cosmetics. If Black Ops 7 did that, they would be crucified. The worst part is I can't say that I blame them. The mobile community is crazy about cosmetics, to the point that some creators are spreading misinformation about them instead of things that actually matter. Look, I'm just saying, it would have been nice to see some gameplay about DMZ, or some sort of teaser for the anniversary, because a live service Call of Duty that has received monthly content for 6 years without the need for strict skill-based matchmaking in pubs would be something worth celebrating. But hey, that's just my opinion. I'm working on a video for Bomber and the M1 Garen. It's been 6 years, so maybe I'll do a 2-part retrospective on what COD Mobile has done right and wrong, similar to what Exclusive Haste does for every COD. No promises. Who knows, maybe I'll give Delta Force a try now that Battlefield 6 is out. No promises. My name is On, and I'm off.